If you want a perfect optimized lean bulk as a teenager with basically zero fat gain, this is the video for you, because I have a full course going into how to successfully lean bulk without any fat, because bulking and cutting is the right way to go, none of this main gang shit. But the problem is that most people bulk the wrong way and most people cut the wrong way. They get fat and then they panic cut because they got too fat. Once they start cutting aggressively because they're so eager to cut, they realize, damn, I don't have as much muscle as I thought. Then they desperate bulk again, aka the dreamer bulk, and try to eat their way back into fullness, but then they get fat again. This cycle repeats. It's called the yo-yo diet. You don't want to get into this. You want to do what I did in that fucking picture. So August 7th to December 7th, exactly 4 months. Here's the difference. I am basically the same leanness in both photos, but which one do you think looks more full? Obviously the December 7th one. I did basically the same pose. Oh, I was leaning a little more on the August one. Big deal. It's basically the same pose with very, very similar lighting. And I just look more wide and full on the bottom. There's definitely multiple reasons for that. Not just, oh, I ate in the right surplus. I'm going to very nuanced things that got me there. Just know that there are 10 pounds apart in this photo. You might not believe it, but it's like 10 fucking pounds. Some of that being a little water and basically the rest being muscle, because if there was a lot of fat that I gained, you would notice it. But I actually did not really put on fat. So let's get into it right now. So here are the biggest common mistakes. Most people, they eat way too much. 500 calorie plus surplus. It could be 500, 1,000. They put on so much fat, because here's the thing. With muscle, you can only gain so much per month. There's a cap. But with fat gain, there's no cap. With this dreamer bulk style shit, you're going to be gaining way more fat than muscle. So what that means is you might, gain the muscle with the fat, but now you're going to have to do a massive cut after. And I know you don't want to cut. Cutting is never fun. I'm cutting right now for the summer. This shit's not fun. My lifts have plateaued. Haven't been able to progress as much. The carbs and the energy and just like, it just isn't there. But the whole point of the cutting phase is to just maintain the lifts and muscle I already have, which the whole losing muscle on the cutting is overblown, because they act like the body's just going to eat at, your muscles, blah, 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 blah. Bro, there's probably quite a bit of fat on you. It's going to target that and the glycogen. It's not going to fucking eat at your protein, bro. That's if you were basically 0% body fat or whatever, very low percent body fat, 5%, 6%. Then it might start eating away. But y'all aren't at that 5, 6% body fat. You're just trying to get to 12, let alone fucking 10, 8, 6. So don't worry about that. Next is taking advantage of junk processed foods. Most people know that 200 calorie surplus is kind of the optimal thing, but they're still going to be like, well, I'm in a surplus. Let's say some junk food, let's fill the calories up a bit. Now, if you just do like a candy bar a night for just a couple hundred calories and it doesn't really equate to any more than that, and you just have your little sweet treat for just 200 calories every night, that's fine. But if you start eating this bar and then you're like, oh, I'll take another, then it's another 200 calories, and then another 600 calories. Now you wasted 600 calories on junk, right? Now, instead of getting those 600 calories with healthy carbs and more fuel and more healthy fat, you got it from fucking bullshit. So now you're going to have less calories for the actual good stuff, which means you won't look or feel as good. You might be more bloated. Your digestion's going to be more fucked. Your gut's not going to like it. It's not worth it, bro. Like, you don't need to take advantage of this shit just because you're in a bulk. Now, everything's processed to a certain extent, but ultra processed is what you want to avoid because they're empty calories. You want to take advantage of every calorie so that way you can micronutrient max, which my next point is people disregarding the micronutrients and only caring about the macros. Bro, macronutrients are surface level. Protein, carbs, fats. And people don't even concentrate on the carbs or fats. Most people just like protein and calories. That's it. As long as they hit their 180 grams of protein and their 2,800 calories, that's it. But your carbs and fats all over the place. Your whole fuel source, whether you're a carb guy or fat guy, it's all over the place. People act like micronutrients are just kind of like useless. No, that shit's slept on. That makes your body perform better too. Don't you want your car to be perfectly optimized? Same thing with the body. Make sure it's perfectly optimized, running right like a good car would, and not neglecting healthy fats. People neglect healthy fats. The fat is where the nutrients are. Next is not doing any cardiovascular work. Bro, just because you're on a bulk does not mean that you could just not move at all and treat your heart like shit and fucking just bloat max. So just do your 30 minutes. That way, calories and shit. And if you do the car, you're able to eat more calories because you did that car. So now you can fit in more micronutrients, more food, more carbs for fuel, this and that. You don't got to go overboard on this compared to like a cut, but even that, don't go overboard. But with this bulk, just keep up your cardio. You'll be able to eat another 100, 200 calories of food, which is like an extra potato. And then boom, like it just makes for a better bulk and your body composition is just going to be better. Next is training too much. Now, this is a big problem too because people, when they enter a bulking phase, they just think, okay, high volume, let's just go crazy. And then they dig themselves in the ground, even in a bulk. They can't even get through these plateaus on a bulk. When you're bulking, you should be progressing very, very good. Plus, you're not going to be able to get plus 2.5 or 5 every week or even every 2 weeks. But if you go more than 2 weeks without any, or even 3 weeks without any sort of progress on a lift, there's a fucking problem, bro. You're either not eating enough or you're not recovering good enough, which both go hand in hand. If you're not eating enough, you're not going to recover as well. You know, people just do 4 sets of this, that. Just because you're eating more food doesn't mean that you can't get fatigued. You're not fucking invincible, right? Keep the volume the lowest it can be while still recovering. Keep the intensity the highest it can be. That way, you take advantage of the bulk, you actually recover, you still progress your lifts, and you're getting the food and fuel in. That's just the right way to go about it, man. Plain and simple. Next, chasing a scale weight, aka bloat maxing. Again, bro, everyone does this. I see on Reddit a lot. Oh, I'm 80 kg. Let's go to 85. Or, oh, let's say in pounds, 190 pounds. Let's just go to 200. Fuck it. And then they gain these 10 pounds in, let's say, 2 months. Basically, 80% of it, 90% of it was fat. Now they look way worse in just 2 months. And now that's going to double the amount of cutting time because you want to bloat max and reach this fucking number. It's just a number. Why does it matter? Who cares? Number is just a number, bro. Go off how you look. Go off how you progress in the fucking gym. I mean, it's really insane to me. The only thing that people do it for is just to say they reached it. It's just like to label or this thing that ties their ego. I don't know. Like they want to be able to say I'm 200 pounds. You know, it's because it sounds cooler than 190 or whatever. Like who gives a fuck, all right? You're gonna look worse. So that's not a worthy trade-off to me. Only bloat max if you're trying to reach a PR. Like if you're really like trying to go for like a 315 bench and you're like plateaued at like 300 or something and you just want to get that quick, maybe in time for a powerlifting comp or whatever, then yes, you could eat more and just temporarily bloat max, gain the water, gain the leverages, and then hit the PR. But then you better not go too crazy after that. Next, not being reactive and adaptable, example being like trigger food, fat game. So when you're in a bulk, not everything's supposed to go perfect or completely linear to your expectation. Nothing in life is completely perfect and linear. There's always ups and downs. So what I mean by, the trigger foods and fat gain, you're reactive on a bulk. While you're bulking, let's say, you're progressing, things are going right, but you're noticing after a month or two already, you're looking a little pudgier, piling on like 2 pounds a week. That's when you would be reactive, preferably even quicker, and turn down the surplus a little bit, like reduce it by 200-300 calories. Because you can say, oh, let me just reduce by 100 calories. There's too much margin of error, right? You can't be perfect calorie tracking. 100, it's way too easy to just go over that, or not 200 to 300 at least. That that okay, I'm eating less. Trigger foods, like if you notice that a food triggers like wanting you to eat more of that food, be reactive and adaptable and just kind of stop eating that shit. Adapt to another food that satiates you better. The worst thing is when, oh, I'm bulking, let me eat this handful of nuts. Because as a trigger food, you're going to grab another handful and another handful. And that's another, like, because nuts are very fatty, that's like another 300 calories at least. So that can fuck up your bulks. Please don't do it. And then the last thing that I had to put in bold is doing low carb, keto or carnivore. Now, this isn't to say that no one can do it, but the people that think that they're good on it probably could do better with carbs. Now, I feel like keto carnivore is more for like just health related people that just care about health, nothing to do with like looks and muscles and aesthetics and just fucking getting big and jacked. Or if the people have like a certain disease or immune problem or inflammatory thing going on, or if someone's in like a deep work phase where they just want mental clarity, then okay, limit the carbs, whatever. But if you're just trying to lean bulk, get as big, as full, jacked as possible, just eat the fucking carbs, you fool. You're not cool because you're eating like a fucking ancestor and primal person would do. At the end of the day, bulking is still a diet. You still have to be aware of what you're putting into your body and how much. This is a concept that most people can't even grasp. They just think bulking is, you can do whatever, but it's a diet too. You eat the same foods as a cut, very similar at least, just more of it. That's it. You still stick to at least 80% whole foods, but 90-10 is better. I obviously prefer 100% whole foods, but if you can do 90-10, which is the vast majority of you, go ahead. Now here are just the non-negotiables of a lean bulk. You can see with that platter there, that is like a standard bodybuilding meal. It has, the rice for the carbs, the asparagus for the vegetables and nutrients, and then the ground beef for the protein, obviously. And then that sauce, too, for sustainability. Probably mustard, it looks like, which is great because it's 0 calories. Eat as 200 calories surplus. Always 200 calories. Now, this ain't just a one-size-fits-all, because there are certain people that eat in a 200 calorie surplus, and they still don't gain weight. So you just got to keep finding that right surplus until you start gaining weight at a very steady rate. Because if you're not gaining weight at all, you're probably not getting the gains that you'd want. This is why I preach bulking and cutting. Your body isn't good at trying to do both at the same time, building muscle and losing fat. It just ends up doing half-assed of both. So that's why it's better to just have dedicated phases of bulking to build the muscle and strength, because it's not just about muscle, it's about strength too. Strength and muscle correlate. It's better to do that than to just try to coast in the middle and just basically spin your wheels. So just find out the right surplus. People sometimes can get away with 4,000 calories a day because they're very, very much a hard gainer. If that's you, then you have to force feed a lot, but whatever. Eat at least 80% whole foods. I just talked about it last. Hit the macros consistently. 0.8 grams of protein, 0.3 grams of fat per pound of body weight, and then carb max for the rest of it. This is the golden rule. You don't need 1 gram per pound of body weight. If you're cutting, it might be a little more recommended, but especially bulking, you can do 0.8. You can even do 0.7, but I recommend 0.8 to be safe because 0.7 is a little too close to going below. It's like right on the limit based off studies I've seen on videos. Yes, studies. Who even knows about studies and science anymore? People don't even read that shit. But that's like the general thing. So at least eat 0.8. 0.3 grams of fat, just enough for your hormones, but the more you go on the fats, the less carbs you can do. And carbs are what's really going to move the needle because it makes you look fuller, fuels performance, recovers you better. Nothing hits better than a nice carb-heavy meal. Micronutrient max, obviously, talked about that already. Make sure you're looking at all the different vitamins, the sodium, the potassium, the calcium, the iron, the zinc, the copper, magnesium, all that shit. Just the omega-3s, please look into that. I mean, if you're in this bodybuilding shape, you might as well go the whole way in. There's no point in like being a little into it, but just go all in. If you want the best results and you want to get it over with, just go all in. Looks progression over the scale. This is a huge one. People weigh themselves every day or every morning, and it just gets in the head. Like if they gain a couple pounds of weight overnight, they like drop calories the next day. They fucking punish themselves to do another 30 minutes, hour of cardio. And it's so sad because all that extra weight the next morning was extra water, sodium, whatever. Just because you might have ate a little later or had a little extra salt on the meal, or you didn't drink as much water, so you had to hold more water, or you drank too much water before. It's just so much shit. You can't do that. Only weigh yourself 2-3 times a week. That's what I recommend. And the whole looks and scale thing too. Who cares what the number says? Look at what you look like. The mirror tells the whole story. If you look bloated as fuck, yet your weight's low, who cares about the fucking weight, the number on the scale? You look bloated, so probably might need a cut. And if you're this high weight that scares you, but you look fucking lean, which is a good thing, don't worry about that number. Just keep eating, bro. Like, oh man, it's crazy. Patience and adaptability, huge non-negotiables. Muscle building takes time. And if you want the bulk to be the best with the ideal muscle to fat ratio, you gotta have patience. I know you want to dreamer bulk your way up and blow max and think that you're gonna gain all this extra muscle because you're eating more and you want the gains now, the gains now. That's just a lack of patience. You need fucking patience for this shit. And that's only gonna come from just knowing that ahead of time and just going through it. If the bulk takes 9 months, 12 months, great. That means a lot of gains. And when you're in a cutting phase and you want to just aggressively cut, slash all your calories and look shredded next week, that's not going to happen either. You got to wait probably 2-3 months. That's usually a normal cut's like 3 months. Just how it is. And then adaptability, we've talked about that. You just got to adapt to your fat. If you're getting too much fat, or the foods in the diet, like if you're feeling really bloated from a certain thing, or if you can't digest something well, maybe swap that out for something else, just so that you feel the best in the bulk. Adapting is always the best thing. If your lifts have plateaued for 3 weeks or whatever, maybe bump the food up by a couple hundred calories. Do all these things and you will master the art of lean bulking, true. Understand that bulking takes time and you should not be rushing any capacity unless you're trying to reach a PR. The best bulks are slow, optimized, and controlled, not dreamer desperate bulks. Yes, the best bulks are the slowest possible with the least amount of fat gain with the most muscle. Those are the people that make the best transformations, not the ones that go through drastic body comp changes. Like this month they look big and bloated, but then 4 or 5 months they look fucking like anorexic. Those are not the right people we want to be, following. Should not be swinging that much. The best transformations you see, whether it be on YouTube or whatever, are the ones that just gradually put on the muscle, get bigger. They might do a cut like here or there, but not too much. They just gradually getting bigger. Those are the best fucking bulks. Now, let's talk about timeline, because we've talked about like what you should do. Now let's just see how long it would take for the average person. So this is an example of a perfect lean bulk in an ideal world. But everything, of course, comes down to genetics, preferences, goals, etc. Big thing that comes to this is the somatotypes, because you could be an ectomorph, right? And you would look at this fucking chart I have here, and you'd be like, no way I can gain 2 pounds or whatever a month that easily. It's going to be so hard. That's the whole thing. It's like genetics. But if you were to look at that chart, that is the perfect thing. Every month you're gaining 2 pounds, pound of muscle, pound of fat, whatever, and each month you're going up a body fat percentage. So that way, let's say you start a nice lean base of 12% body fat, you have a nice 9 solid months of growth, where then you reach 21% or whatever. But it's probably gonna be longer than 9 months. If you really control it, it could go up this whole month. But 9 months is a standard thing, because 9 months of the year is cold and people want to, bloat max or whatever. And then the 3 months they want to get shredded, so then they cut. So the standard 9-to-3 ratio there, it's like the perfect timeline for a guy lean bulking. Ectomorphs, it'll take longer. And then the endomorphs, the ones that can just look at food and gain weight, the bulks might end a little quicker. Like it might be more like 6 months, which if it's 6 months, try to extend that shit. The longer you're in a bulking phase, the more gains you'll be getting. And you don't want to end those gains short unless you're getting towards like 22, 23, 24% buyback. Then your nutrition partitioning is going to be worse. more testosterone converted to estrogen. You're not in the best hormonal environment, this and that. Then you got to drop back down. But getting down from low 20% body fat to 15, 16 is pretty easy. I mean, I've done it myself before a couple times. So yeah. Instead of chasing, though, the perfect ideal lean bulk, monitor how you look monthly with progress in the gym, no matter the scale weight. Don't weigh every day. I've said this so many times. Also, like, take pictures. Like, it's not just about, because looking at yourself in the mirror is good, and it really does tell you the story, but take the picture so that way it's captured. That way you can look back on it later down the line. Like, if you're fully bulked up, you're at the end of your bulk, take all your progress pics of your front posing, the back, the side, just everything resting. You take the pictures of that at the end of the bulk, and then after the cut, you take the photos again, and you compare the end of the cut photos versus the end of the bulk. You're going to see, it's just cool to see and look back on. So that's why it's good to take progress pics. You don't have to do it every day in the gym, but just steadily so that you got something to refer to make yourself feel better. The gym logbook is all you need at the end of the day. It really is. If you're progressing and you're literally getting an extra rep once a week, once every 2 weeks, you're getting stronger. Bigger muscles means more strength. More strength means bigger muscles. These guys that say, oh, I'm only training for hypertrophy, not strength. Bro, how do you get more hypertrophy? How do you get more jacked? By getting stronger, dumbass. It all correlates, motherfucker. Hypertrophy and strength, they're not separate at all. If you want more hypertrophy, you need to get stronger. That's progressively overloading. The progressively overloading thing links both of them. It's crazy. So that's the realistic lean bulk timeline. That's just for the average thing. Very, very vague, but it looks cool, at least on the slide. But that is the end of my full course for lean bulking with basically zero fat gain. I did it successfully on my last bulk. August 7th was like basically the start of my bulk. December 7th was like in the middle, and I basically put on 10 pounds without noticeable fat. So I would say that I've lean bulked successfully. It felt really good. I carb cycled. I was in the 200 calorie surplus. I was reactive, adaptable, this and that, and I made sure all my lifts went up, and they did. It was a great time. The cutting now sucks. This phase always is worse than the bulking. But once I cut, probably after June or whatever, or even after this month, I'll start lean bulking again because I don't want to be in cuts too long. I just need to constantly put on muscle. You know, you're not going to really put on muscle, substantial muscle in a cut. So you just need to keep bulking and just do these shortcuts, clean up here and there. I hope you enjoyed the video. It was a long one, but I really hope you guys, especially teenagers in school, get a lot out of this and lean bulk the right way so you don't waste time spinning your wheels. It was a pleasure. Now, after this, if you want to watch a perfect video from me that goes hand in hand with this lean bulk guide, then check out this video here on my exact meal plan that got me these results while lean bulking. It's completely free. See ya.